Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gail Carson. Welcome to Living Regret Free, a program that shows you how to live a better and more joyful life. As an added bonus, I invite you to listen to an introduction to my Mindset Matters program, which ties into this so well. Go to www.sobmindset.com. It's free, and I know you will enjoy it. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at gailcarson13@gmail.com or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter.
Hi, everyone. I have a very unusual guest for you today. It's the legendary Udo Erasmus, and he is the co-founder of Udo's Choice line, which can be found in Whole Foods and other health food stores worldwide. He designed the machinery for making oils with health in mind and pioneered flax oil, a billion-dollar industry. However, he walked a difficult path to become the man he is today. Being a child of war, his life began with intense struggle, and as an adult, he got pesticide poisoning in 1980, leaving doctors at a loss regarding treatment. Deciding to take his health into his own hands, he began researching, and his discoveries led him to a passion for finding the answers to life's big questions, which would hopefully one day bring him and the world peace. Today, he's an acclaimed speaker and the author of many books, including the best-selling Fats That Heal, Fats That Killed, which sold over 250,000 copies. Wow, Udo, welcome to our show. I am delighted to have you and excited to hear all of your wisdom today.
Well, let's see if we can come up with some. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, you have recognized something within us that you call the thirst of the heart. Mm-hmm. What is that, and what is that all about?
Oh, whenever it's probably it's the most important gift we've been given other than being alive. And it's a feeling, an uncomfortable feeling in our chest that we get every time one of our hopes gets shattered, or a trust is betrayed, or somebody close to us dies, or a relationship breaks up. And funny that so many different things on the outside can always make us feel uncomfortable in the same place. That's called the thirst of the heart, because it's that thirst is not about what ended or what was lost, but it's about calling us to bring our awareness back home inside to its source in life, where our peace and our love and our contentment and our fulfillment all live.
But there are so many people that are going through all of that every day. I mean, this is something that's very, very common on a daily basis for people, because there are so many circumstances that present themselves. So how do we deal with that?
Well, most of the time we don't like the feeling. So what we do is we distract ourselves from them. We do something else, and there's lots of distractions so that we can choose from. So either we distract ourselves from it, or we try to ignore it, or we try to explain it away, or try to deny it, or we blame it on somebody. But that doesn't make it go away. What makes it go away is if we accept the feeling and then sit with the feeling. And if we sit still in that feeling without judging it, just feeling it, just less than a hair's breadth behind it is our peace, is our contentment.
It's interesting you say that, because most people really do blame outside circumstances. They blame other people. They blame other circumstances. They become the victim. Mm-hmm. And when you're the victim, you can't really do much about anything. So right. It is true. You have to really dig deep and be willing to accept and work with it as best you can. So what are some of the signs and symptoms, other than what you've told us, that your heart may need attention?
If you're confused, that would be one. When you feel burned out, that would be another one. That's pretty common too. Um, when you feel like there's something missing, because usually what's missing in our life is us. And when we're not connected to ourselves, we're literally missing from our life. And then we try to substitute, and it doesn't work because you can't fix on the outside what needs to be connected to on the inside. But we try to do that all the time, and our senses keep taking us outward. And we do all these things, whatever it is. You make $1 million, or you get the girl, or you get the award, or you get this and that. And we try to, and there's always the hope when we come up with projects that at the end of the project, when we succeed, we will feel whole again. And it never happens. We get 3 days of yay, I did it, I did it, I did it. And then this feeling is back, this restlessness or emptiness, or there's lots of words for it: blues, loneliness, longing, yearning, separation, isolation. There's lots of words for this feeling, depending on what triggered it. But the feeling is always the same. It's a call to come home to ourselves. And that
Yeah, it's so funny. They always talk about, life is not a destination, it's a journey. And it's true. I mean, you go on a vacation, you have a wonderful time, and you come back to all the stress and problems that you left before. And there's so many things that, you wake up every day and it's new, and it's just very interesting how it all works out. So what do you see then as the problem with modern society and our own approach to finding happiness? I mean, how are people blocking their own joy? I'm all about joy. And I can see where a lot of people had difficulty in this last year, dealing with everything that was handed down to them. But yet you had to cope, and you had to get through it, and you had to continue on. So what do you see as a way of working in today's world and making it a positive?
Well, the positive is who we are. It's our nature. Unconditional love exists within every human being, and it's the life energy that is unconditional love. Your life loves your body unconditionally. If you even if you hate your life, it still takes care of you. And what we're looking for on the outside is that we already have. It's almost like the cosmic joke. We already have what we're looking for. We only don't know that we have it because we're looking outside and we have it inside. So during the lockdowns, I would say to people, listen, if you can't go outside, go inside. If they say you can't go out of your house, okay, then sit down on a chair, turn off all your television, all your distractions, and just feel how much peace there is in your house. Just feel the presence of being in your house. You don't have to do anything other than take the time to sit still. And when you start to feel that, it's like, oh my God, I'm taken care of. And then you don't have to do anything, and you have to not do anything. And then you can dance. Then you can dance with whatever the situation is that you have to contend with. But instead of having a lot of judgments about it, well, it's this way, but it should be this way. Now I'm discontent. Then you accept what is, because it is anyway. Just because I complain about it, it doesn't change it. So I can actually.
But that's hard. That's hard for people to do, Udo. I mean, most people get so wrapped up in so many complicated situations in their own mind. They make up stuff in their own mind, and they visualize things that aren't true. And so it's really difficult for people who are trying to. One of the things I always said was that I never got depressed during the whole time I've been, I think 65 weeks of staying indoors and not going anywhere because I was immune compromised. And I can tell you that I didn't get depressed because there was always something to amuse myself with. And of course, I have
Yeah.
this great cat. Cat keeps me busy too, and she's with me 24/7, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So, but you also have a concept of total sexy health, and I'm not sure what that means. And you said there are 8 steps to total sexy health. So, why don't you tell us what some of those steps are?
Okay, let me go back to what you were saying. It's people find it hard to get quiet. Yeah, that's because we never practice. We're really good at going out into the world through our senses. We're really good at looking at this and looking at that and having an opinion on everything because we practice that all our life. How much of the time have we actually practiced sitting still and just feeling what that feels like? What it feels like to be in a human body. What does it feel like in the space that your body occupies? We don't know because we don't practice. It's an important thing if you want to find your happiness, like an unconditional happiness. But it's kind of like a little kid learning to walk. First it's lying on its back and arms and legs are going in every direction, no focus, no direction, no goal, and then it sees people walking, and then gradually it wants to start to walk, and then it tries to get up and falls down, tries to get up and falls down, gets up, falls down, falls down, and pretty soon it's running around the block. But how much time that took, and how much effort it took, and how much persistence that took. The kid never quits. But what we do is somebody says, okay, let's sit still. And then you say, okay, let me do that. You sit still for 5 minutes. You say, well, God, this is boring. And then you get back into your addiction to everything outside of you. Well, you can't get good at being present in your own life. And why would you not want to be present in your own life? It's what you are. It's what you've got. This is like your gift. Why would you not want to be present in that? And why would you not want to persist? Because it's difficult, but it's actually quite simple. But it takes effort, and we have to get used to being able to be comfortable sitting still. Behind that ache, less than a hair's breadth, is an incredible peace and unconditional love. There, every moment of every day. Why would that not be interesting to look at? But we haven't been doing it for 200,000 years.
It is so true. It's so true. It's so hard for some people to just sit and be with themselves. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Even though everything they're looking for is in that sitting. That's what's so funny. That's a cosmic joke. It's like what you want, you already have, and you're looking everywhere except where it is.
Yeah, that's like finding the gold in your own backyard kind of thing.
Yeah. Or you have $1 million in your left pocket, but you only look in your right pocket and there's no money in it, and you say, "Hey, I'm broke."
Exactly. So give us the 8 steps, Udo.
Okay. So the 8 steps. So this came out of I've been working in health for a long time, and I started. Well, I started in biology because I was really interested in how life works and living things work. And I later got into health after getting poisoned by pesticides and started working with oils. And because they're the most sensitive of our nutrients, they need the most care. We give them the least care. So more health problems come from damaged oils than any other part of nutrition. And more health benefits come from making an oil change that the body needs, just like your car, dirty oils out, clean oils in. And then I would talk to people, I would give them very good advice, and I would notice sometimes some certain people wouldn't put it into practice. It's like, well, what's missing here? The information is accurate. I know that if they apply it, they will see results. Why is it not being, why are they not putting my great advice into practice? And the conclusion I came to is it has to do with inspiration. When people are not inspired, it's really hard to change habits because we're in thinking ruts. And we've practiced these thinking ruts for so long that every time something happens, we go down the same thinking rut. When we get inspired, that frees energy, and all of a sudden we have energy and we feel good. And then making the changes that we need to make in order to have a good life become a lot easier. So I got into inspiration. And then I sat down and I said, well, what else affects health? And came to the conclusion that everything affects health. So what is everything? There are 8 parts to it. Each one of those parts has a different nature and a different function, needs a different kind of attention on a regular basis, and goes off in a different way and responds to a different kind of intervention. So you can't just fix everything with food, and you can't just fix everything with prayer, and you can't just fix everything by positive thinking. Each one has a place. But if you want total health, then you have to apply them all, because each one of them plays a role in your total health. So this starts with awareness. Awareness is the place where you go when you sit still and you go deep to the core of your being. There's an awareness there. It has no content. It is a free space. It is the place of all possibilities. And its biggest attribute is peace. That's where the contentment and the peace live, in the core of your being. If you don't go to that core, you're basically living without foundation, because that is your foundation. That's your foundation, but it's also the foundation of the universe. That awareness, that peace, always there. In fact, when you feel it, you look around, you say, oh my God, peace has always been everywhere. Why didn't I notice? Because peace in me was not doing the observing. I was thinking through my head, I was thinking through my mind, I was thinking through my concepts. Well, you don't get peace in your concepts, and you don't have peace in your mind. You have to go deeper than that for the peace. So that's the foundation. On top of that is life energy. Life energy comes from the sun, goes into green leaves, turns into molecules, is stored in those molecules. We eat those molecules as food. That energy is released when they're metabolized, and that's the energy that is our life. So solar energy is life energy. And when we dwell on that energy and become that energy, then we have this what's called the so-called spiritual experiences, some of them very profound. And that energy loves the body unconditionally. Every day, never takes a day off, never complains, never asks for a raise, never when we're nasty, isn't nasty back, just takes care of the body. Only job, takes care of the body. So there's the unconditional love. That unconditional love, when I feel it, there's nothing left to do but to help, because I'm taken care of. I feel cared for. And when I feel cared for, it's not about me anymore. Then it's like, okay, look around. What can I do? Where can I help? What needs to be done? How can I make the biggest splash for good in one lifetime, in one body? So out of that unconditional love comes a shine. That's inspiration. And that's the bridge between life and the world. What can I do that's helpful? So that's number 3. Number 4 is the body. That when we talk about health, we mostly talk about the body, food and fitness, and that obviously plays a role. That's number 4. Number 5 is survival smarts, because and that's basically protection from the environment. It's part of the mind. It's the protective part of mind. Inspiration is the positive part of mind. And then number 6 is a social group. People affect your health. There are certain people that bring you down or make you sick that you might best avoid. And there are certain people that encourage and inspire you, and we tend to be attracted to people like that. And sometimes those people have bad agendas, but they're still inspired about them, and we get sucked up in the bad agendas just because the inspiration is so attractive. So that's social group. Then there's natural environment. Obviously, what the your environment affects you. So going for a walk in the woods is very calming, and the pace of nature, generally speaking, is a little more settled than the noise and the traffic in the city. So, and then how we create our natural environment, or what we do to our natural environment, also comes back on us and affects our health. So when you pollute the environment pollutes you. We say if you doo-doo in your nest, you will nest in your doo-doo. And the last one is the I call it infinite awareness. And that's the big picture, the idea that here I am in a human body, which is a terminal condition, in an infinite universe, and to be comfortable with all of that. And the goal, if you want to live the best possible life, is to be fully present in all of your being and your environment, not lost in thoughts in your head. And then when we practice that, the life becomes actually quite easy, even with everything
well,
going on.
You've encompassed everything you do. I mean, you've just talked about someone who is living a total life, and living it well. You really encompass every single part of someone's being and someone's day and someone's existence. And unfortunately, the only thing that I find difficulty with for other people is that some of the people in their lives who are detrimental to them are family. And it's very hard sometimes to do not deal with family, because they are family. And it's hard to say, I don't want to see you anymore. But anyway, we have about 5 minutes left. And I know that you have a wonderful gift for our listening audience. What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, because I know it was some kind of free download or free something on your website. So why don't you tell us what your website is and how people can reach you and so forth?
Yeah. So the products that I talk about, oils, digestive enzymes, probiotics, the website is udoschoice.com, UDOS choice.com. And we talk on that about what the products are and why we made them the way we made them and what they do and all of that kind of stuff. And then the other website is Erasmus.com or theudo.com, THEUDO.com. And on that we have educational materials and some courses and some books are on there. I think one of those is what the freebie is. My techie arranges all that. And
I understand that. I have a techie also.
Yeah.
So I understand that totally.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, Udo, that your philosophy of how to live life and how to deal with what's in front of you is really, very positive and very interesting. And if people followed it, they would live a much more happy and productive life. And that's what you're all about. You're all about people living a total, happy, joyful life.
Yeah,
that's what this program is all about, living regret-free.
Yeah.
And, I agree with you. I think it's very important for people to be able to do that. So we have about 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Anything that we have not mentioned that you want our audience to know?
Yeah. The thing about it is that the way we're made, and I know this from experience because I do the practice myself. Every one of the 8 billion people on the planet could live their lives lit up from within because the light is already within us. It's a matter of looking into it instead of looking away from it. When we do that, we will feel so cared for that we won't steal each other's stuff, and then we can live in harmony. And when we live in harmony, making sure that everybody's basic needs are met on a long-term sustainable basis is not very difficult to do. But we have homework to do. Every human being is capable of doing that homework. And we're under pressure to do that homework because the way we've been living for the past 200,000 years is not impressive and is coming back on us. and the ache in the heart is calling us to come home. Once we understand that that's the call to come home, and we act on it, this will change this planet in a big way, and it could happen very fast because we're so wired now for being able to present messages. Right now, we're just putting junk on our we put out a lot of junk over our wiredness. We just need a few better messages, and the world could change very quickly. But it requires every person to take responsibility just for their little part.
Well, I agree. And my guest today has been Udo Erasmus, the co-founder of Udo's Choice line. And if you know it's found in Whole Foods, you know it's got to be healthy. So I want to thank you so much for being with us, Udo. You've given us a lot of important information, and continue to do your great work, because I know we really need it.
Thank you. Yeah. And well, we're all helping. You're doing as much as I am. You are amplifying a message. If this message has any value, you're doing more than I am. I'm only just talking. But you're amplifying, right?
Yeah, and I want to thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. I choose my guests carefully, so if you have someone you'd like me to interview, please drop me a line at gailcarson13@gmail.com. In the meantime, check out my intro program, Mindset Matters, at www.sobmindset.com. See you next week.